Hey fellas, how's it going? We are a week away from a new set. You know what that means. It is clickbait season. It is time to make a tier list. So then, the way I do my tier lists is I don't necessarily rank them within the respective tiers from best to worst. I've ranked them from like red, blue, green, yellow, black. So we're not looking at the best leader in S tier. The first leader in S tier is going to be whatever the first red leader is up there, just for the sake of organization. S tier leaders are S tier, A tier leaders are A tier, etc. That's what we're looking at, not necessarily putting them in any order beyond that. So with that being said, what are our tiers? We got tier 0, which is tier 0, pretty self-explanatory. Spoilers, it isn't going to come up in this set. S tier are the best decks, the stuff that you're going to consistently see at big events, topping regionals and whatnot. A tier decks will be the decks that they can win events. I wouldn't be surprised if they won events. B tier decks are okay. C tier decks are decks that they're playable, but they need some kind of support going on. And the F tier is just for completely unplayable, unfinished decks that need a lot of work. So with that being said, let's get started. We're going to be going through the leaders quick, unless there's something notable to say about them. So that being said, starting with the starter deck leaders, Stardaku, C tier, perfect C tier leader. He fits the description quite well. He exists, he can play the game, he can win. Every other red leader is more interesting than him, though. The other base starter deck leaders are all going to go into B. They're all playable. Daimagoku, A tier leader. He has access to some leader-locked cards specific to Daima, and those cards are quite good. And he's flexible enough to still play good generic red cards, so he's the best of both worlds in that regard. Daima Vegeta, S tier leader. He got 2 really good cards last set. Not much is changing for him. He is getting a couple more bad matchups, but his only really bad matchup last set was Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. Ultra Vegeta 1, I want to be optimistic, put him in A tier. I feel like with the Bobbity limit, there's more room for different yellow decks in the top end. And Ultra Vegeta 1 can put out a lot of pressure. He can throw 3 30k swings a turn, starting from turn 4 onwards. So he's got the pressure. I'm really hopeful on this one. Now then, we're moving on to our 2 new starter decks, the Dragon Ball Legends crossover, Shallot and Giblet, and we're going to talk about Giblet first. Now, he did just receive an errata, for those that are unaware. And what it does is, prior to the errata, his card read, when he used his leader ability, after he did that, any card ramped to either player's energy would go to the drop instead. So he could pop leader ability, then Warm Greeting Jiren, and that Jiren would go to the drop instead of energy, was the theory there. However, it was a mistranslation. It has been errated. Your opponent's cards still go into their energy off of Warm Greeting and whatnot. That's the too long, didn't read version of that. So prior to the errata, he was an easy S tier, no question. With the errata considered, he is probably an A tier leader. I think he's still good, but it does change a couple matchups. As for Shallot, he's also an A tier. He's a fair deck. He has some interesting qualities to him. He doesn't draw on the front side, which can be good in certain matchups where you don't want to swing into the opponent's leader anyways, so you're not actually losing anything in those matchups by not swinging. He can still play his game plan unhindered. Moving on to set 1, this one's going to be quick. U7, B tier. Beerus, B tier. Trunks, he was most hurt by the peel-off ban, C tier. Goku Black, funny high roll man. He either does what he wants or he does absolutely nothing. He could use some new cards now. I'm gonna put him in C tier. Like, his high roll isn't even the biggest high roll anymore. Androids, A tier. They're still quite good there is a bunch of really hard matchups coming into the game for them. So that is why I would drop them to A tier out of S tier. Gohan, B tier. Problem with the ramp to A do a thing leaders is androids just do it better. Ginyu, C tier. Cooler. I feel like a lot of people would put him F tier. I think he's C tier. He could use a couple more cards, but his deck is actually functional, which is a step up from where it used to be even just 2 sets ago. Alright, so there was set 1. Moving on to set 2, we have Topku, B tier leader. He did get support in a new promo. I believe it's a Vegeta card, 2 costs, 30k when awakened, and your leader is Tournament of Power. I know someone that exclusively plays this leader, and he does quite well. I've seen him beat S tier decks with it, and everything from S tier in between. Very playable leader. Now we got Zamasu. I feel like overall I'm going to rate blue decks lower than they should be due to the peel-off ban. My instincts are telling me he's still an A tier deck. However, I am going to put him in the B tier just to be safe. The peel-off ban did hurt the blue decks overall. I still think they're playable, and I do think they'll adapt. It's not the end of the world for blue. Cell, A tier. I'm very biased with that. He did get some new cards. He utilizes the Majin Buu from the Giblet deck. He's able to heal early and still, like, play with energy. Like, the maneuver is you charge to 6. Like, you charge to 6. Play out the Buu, go back to 5 life. It then puts you to 5 energy, and then you can leader ability, you still have 4 open energy. So then there's room to, like, play Arena if you needed to that turn, or play out a Hercule to get back some Bulmas, or whatever you need to do. Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, S tier, very solid leader. He has that Results of Training card now. Very defensive. He does gain some terrible matchups this set, but I think he's still gonna be in one of the top spots for sure. Time to fill up that S tier with set 3. Jiren, S tier. Not much changes for him. He's still gonna be topping events. Really all there is to it. Ripku, funnily enough, nothing changes for him either, despite the peel-off ban. There were already Ripku decks not running peel-off in the first place. The players that are really good with this deck are going to be unaffected. The only difference is you're not going to get peel-off Final Hope loop scummed at the end of games. So I feel like in the digital you'll probably see him a lot less, but he's still going to be at regionals and whatnot. Piccolo, B tier. He can play the game now with his new card. Problem with these get to 8 energy and then do a thing decks is androids just do it better. Fat Buu, S tier. He gained a whole bunch of support, probably most improved deck from last set. He's honestly in contention for best deck in format. He gained so many options that he has different build paths he can do. He can be a hyper aggro deck, or he could be hyper defensive, and you're not going to know what the player is doing just by seeing their leader. Goku GT, B tier. He is just a good generic black leader. Moving into set 4, starting with UI Goku, C tier leader. He needs new cards. That's really all there is to it. However, Gohan, F tier leader, he needs new cards even more. His leader ability is way too specific, and he has not gotten any support since he has been released. Now then, Green Vegeta. I, for the longest time, was of the belief that this was the worst green leader in the game. With the support he got now, that is no longer the case. I am going to put him in A tier. So my big problem with him, he didn't have any end game removal. If a card of a cost of 6 or higher was played against him, he just had to live with that. That happened, and that was it. He now has a 1-cost card that KOs any Saiyan battle card. And you might be saying there's cards that aren't Saiyan that are big bodies, and that's true, but there's only 2 things he needs to worry about. The 6-cost SCR Frieza he can't do anything with, or any of the 8-cost Cell cards. Anything else is either dealt with by that extra, or the Great Ape can remove it. Speaking of the Great Ape, he can get it out a lot earlier now. I think he is a solid leader going forward. Now then, Super Boo, the terror of like the last two sets. The Bobbity being limited does hurt him a lot. He is probably an A tier leader now. And that's not even me saying that. This is from me talking with people that have played this leader a lot at the regional level. People that have topped regionals and have tested this leader post ban list. And from what I've heard from them, again, these are top players that I've heard this from. Kid Boo and Fat Boo are just much better than he is now. He's still playable. It's just he's doing similar things to Ultra Vegeta 1. His discard is not much different than what any other yellow leader can put out now, as far as the discard stuff goes. And he's just swinging big numbers into you multiple times a turn, much like Ultra Vegeta 1, who is putting out 330k swings. Super Boo is potentially capable of doing 230s into 220s, I believe. Just quick math. Ultra Vegeta 1 asks for more combo power. The only turn between the two where Super Boo has the edge is his turn 5, where he can drop the double striker into the 30k, or he could go the double into the Bobbity if he finds his one of Bobbity into the dual attacker. Other than that, it's a very similar game plan. Baby, A tier deck. Not much has changed for him. He's just consistently been good. And he does have different build options. He can play the mid-range, or he can do the hyper aggro Rildo stuff. Just a very solid leader. That 5 is a fairly easy one. SS Daima, A tier. Vegito, A tier. Again, I know Pilaf is banned. Vegito can kill you quick enough that where it probably doesn't matter. He has the SCR double strike from set 6 that he can play on 5, and then he could either boost his leader swing to 70 with Savior, or boost the double strike to 65 with Savior. So he can put out some big numbers in the end game. I think he'll be quite decent still. Nameku, A tier. Janemba, A tier. You see the pattern here? Gogeta, A tier. All of the set 5 leaders are solid. They're probably the most even in terms of power from every set we've had so far. Moving into set 6, which is our most recent set, Android 18, she is going in F tier. Her problem is, like, none of her cards, there's no incentive or benefit for her KOing battle cards, and it's her entire gimmick. There's no payoff for it more than like any other leader would want to get rid of battle cards. Every leader wants to get rid of battle cards. It's her entire leader ability is designed around it, and there's a grand total of 2 cards that lean into that in her entire archetype. She definitely needs more support that benefits from her KOing battle cards, and I'm shocked she got nothing like that in the manga booster. On the other hand, we have World Tournament Goku that gained quite a bit from the manga booster. I'm going to put him in S tier. He is a blue leader that is unhindered by the Pilaf ban. He just wants to aggro the opponent down. He's very good at doing that. He was missing some pieces. He got what he needed to go from good to great, in my opinion. Now we have Broly BR. He's an A tier leader. He got more bad matchups this set, but the thing is, he can still just win if the opponent doesn't see what they need to stop him, which I don't like how that deck is designed. It just stat checks the opponent, and if they can't stop the 8-cost Broly, they just lose. But if they can, it's like, okay, can you stop the next one? Okay, can you stop the next, like, you know what I mean? There's a fair amount of decks that can do that consistently, but I hate that design so much. It's such a simple deck. It does one thing. If the opponent doesn't see the answer, it can just win any matchup based off that. Kingoma, C tier leader. I think he could use more support. He's at least playable. He's kind of a funny high roll deck. Not much more to say about that one. And now we have King Piccolo, F tier. He needs more cards. Just, there's so much wrong with him. He's a crit leader, doesn't draw, doesn't gain the +5 power, and then a lot of his archetype wants him to discard anyways, and he's running that egg, which is a 0 combo. There's just a lot of things with him. He's what Cooler was before Cooler got support, essentially. And now we are on to the manga booster. Only 3 leaders this set. We're starting with Red. Red got Cell. And I am torn on where I want to put him. He could either go into S or he could go into A. I'm going to play it safe, put him into A. Now, what does he do? Well, I like to describe Goku Black as a green deck pretending to be a blue deck. Cell, on the other hand, is a blue deck pretending to be a red deck. And what I mean by that is he has all kinds of recursion going on in his deck. He's bringing cards back to hand. He's bringing cards back to field. He's also swinging for 40. He's fairly decent. I want to see him win a regional. I like Cell. I'm going to play both Cell leaders. He's fun. Kid Buu, S tier. He is in contention for best deck in format. And between him and Fat Buu, which one is going to be better is whatever one uses the 4-cost Kid Buu better. That card is why Androids is in the A tier. There's going to be a lot of Majins, and what that card does, for those that don't know, you just slam it on the table, rests all your opponent's energy and all their battle cards with a cost of 5 or less, and Androids like to turtle up to try and go for an extra turn later on, so they might leave 4 energy open for their EDBs after playing a couple Hercules, getting back combo power, and you can just completely shut them down with that 4-cost Buu. Kid Buu is probably going to be the go-to. You're probably going to see a mid-range Kid Buu over Super Buu going forward. That would just be my my guess right now. And that leaves us with our last leader, Bulma. When I initially tested her, she felt really strong. She can throw massive hits out very early. The problem was I tested her into matchups she does well into, and she does not have any chance against the Buus. That's just how it is. She's either a B or a C. I'm gonna put her in C. She could use a couple more cards. She just gets completely destroyed by the Buus. She probably also loses pretty hard to any yellow deck, really. So, yeah, it's unfortunate, but 2 of the leaders in this set are good, at least. That's much better than the last set. I guess 2 leaders in that set were fair, but there was also more leaders, so, I guess that's besides the point. Anyways, there's our tier list. A lot of it's probably wrong. It's for fun. I don't take this seriously, and neither should you. It's just a game. Anyways, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care. See y'all later.